Thank you for saving me, Batman.
Just doing my job, man.
My home is just around that corner. Just past that alley.
No, please, not you, Grandma. No, Grandma, stop. Stop, please. Please, Grandma, no, not you. No, I was having a nice day, Grandma. I was having a nice day.
Warner Brothers had developed their own FPS arena shooter under the Batman license back in 2012 when DC was leading the superhero video game genre. However, the game was shut down 12 years ago. Why did this happen? And how is it still possible to play this game with full lobbies?
We'll talk about that later.
You see, I love Marvel, and with that, Marvel Rival. Being able to play the heroes I saw growing up on the big screen gives me the immersiveness that most games don't. But I have a problem. Growing up in this generation with phones, I've developed a short attention span. That makes me want to keep switching games every now and then. And when I got bored of Marvel Rivals, I got curious. I thought to myself, if Marvel has a multiplayer shooter, why does DC not have one? And then it clicked to me that I have played one in the past. Gotham City Impostors. I had just forgotten about it, maybe because I was just a wee lad when I last played it. I scrolled on my Steam library and there it was. I love diving into old games, so I was hyped to play it. But I was quickly let down when I realized the servers were dead. Yeah, not a single soul to be seen. Apparently the game was killed on Steam years ago, which is surprising for a game with a Batman license.
In the early 2010s, Batman had become the frontrunner IP in the superhero video game genre. With the release of Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, it showed the world that superhero games are not a joke. Warner Brothers wanted to capitalize on their goldmine of a video game IP and branch out to other player bases. Therefore, they acquired Monolith Studios, who have had several games under their belt, including the Fear franchise and the Condemned franchise, and their most recent releases include The Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War in the Lord of the Rings universe. But no one expected what Warner Brothers and Monolith had planned for the next Batman video game release. A PvP first-person shooter where you don't even get to play as Batman. I mean, technically you do. Hey Dwayne, where my hug at?
You have got to be kidding me.
This was Gotham City Impostors, where instead of playing as superheroes, you played as regular dudes LARPing as Batman and Joker, known as the Bats and the Jokers. Yeah, really creative, I know. Instead of using Batarang or smoke bombs, you got this thing. We got homemade costumes and gadgets and roller skates, gliders, pipe bombs, and exploding presents. This game sounded absolutely ridiculous when it was announced. It was the exact opposite of the serious tone of the Arkham games that Warner Bros. Had established over the years. But somehow it worked? And this video is sponsored by absolutely nobody, so please like, subscribe, or even comment. It means a lot to us and we're trying to go full time, so help us in the journey. Cheers.
The game had adopted features that the player base loved from other FPS franchises such as Call of Duty, with focus on different PvP modes like Deathmatch, Fumigation, Psych Warfare, Bounty Hunter, and the customization aspect from the Team Fortress franchise, which they one-upped with weapons, perks, voices, costumes, and even gadgets. The reception of the game was great. Critics said it was fun to play, with GameSpot reviews stating, "Gotham City Impostors is a consistently thrilling experience that's easy to recommend." The players loved the goofy personality the game had adopted, and at the same time delivering an intense PvP experience. So how does a game that has used one of the biggest entertainment IPs such as Batman disappear and become one of Warner Brothers' most forgotten games?
You see, the game seemed to have adopted the positive features of their current competitors in the market, but seemed to have missed out on a major one: the $15 paywall. Warner Bros. Had found themselves jumping into the live service game market during the free-to-play revolution, where the multiplayer and live service video games industry had one of the largest shifts. TF2 had recently gone free to play to join other major multiplayer names in the market, such as League of Legends, that was also free to play. This had caused a domino effect in the industry, as the new norm had now shifted to downloading multiplayer games without paying upfront. Gotham City Impostors arrived with the $15 eyesore of a price. This was back in 2012, by the way. We really didn't know how good we had it, huh?
Please, Batman, spare some change for GTA 6, please.
Just like me, for real.
What? Batman? Players expected the game to have much more content to justify its price, apart from the Batman license, but the $15 offered no campaign story, no offline mode, and to add the cherry on top, the game was full of microtransactions. There were over $200 worth of cosmetic DLC packs and the ability to buy double XP booster packs over and over again with real money. This upset most of the critics and especially the player base who had decided to spend $15 instead of playing a free-to-play alternative like Team Fortress 2.
Keeping in mind that the concept of microtransaction exploitations in video games was fairly new in that era. EA?
Problems just started piling up one after another, and it looked as if the cracks just kept bigger and bigger because this was just the start of their problems.
The concept of the game itself, amazing. It had everything you could ask for from a first-person shooter back then. Different guns, multiple different game modes, and even a speedrun mode for speed demons like myself. The problem? Never actually was the game itself, rather everything surrounding it. From February of 2012 to August of 2012, Gotham City Impostors was on Games for Windows Live. Now younglings, you may have never heard of this thing. If you grew up using Steam, you have had it pretty much easy all your life. On Steam, you click it, it updates, and log in and play. But for Games for Windows Live, you didn't decide if you wanted to play the game, rather it decided if it was your day to play the game or not.
To keep it simple, it had a lot of bugs, but let's just say you consider yourself lucky the day you logged in smoothly and your game turned on. But don't get your hopes up too high yet, because there was still one more problem.
GameSpy.
GameSpy is a networking infrastructure which is not really known for its reliability. You would spend ages in matchmaking or get disconnected mid-match. Half the time was spent on waiting rather than actually playing the game. Now, there were some other smaller issues such as lag spikes, hosting problems, team balancing, but they were not too significant for us to dive deep into it.
August of 2012 rolled around, and with a declining player base, Warner Bros. Finally made the decision for Gotham City Impostors to go free to play on Steam, hoping that this will be enough to give the game a second life.
One might say Half-Life. Half-Life 3, one might say. One might say Half-Life 2. One might say Half-Life VR.
The reception to the change was overwhelmingly positive, with the game reaching around 7,000 concurrent players, especially now that it was on Steam. For a moment, it looked like Warner Bros. Had finally solved the issue and the comeback had begun, but it was not long before the core issue of the game's decline came to surface.
Like a fish to the sea, like an ocean to a bait.
Within a year, after going free to play, 90% of the player base had abandoned the game and the Steam charts had tanked. Warner Brothers failed to realize that making a game free can get people through the front door of the shop, like those with the big sale, sale, sale icons outside. But keeping the player base and the customers inside is a separate challenge when you have items from the 90s for sale.
The lack of content hit the game so hard, so hard, that it reminded me of when my dad used to hit me. Man, those were some dark days,
The game only had 5 maps, limited to 4 game modes, no custom servers to play with friends, and no evolving endgame. When you had unlocked every cosmetic, that was it. There wasn't anything left to play for, and even if you played for the sake of the FPS experience and showing others you are better than them, there wasn't even a ranked mode to show off your skill. It's wild to even think that a live service game can have a dead end on a motive to grind the game.
Over the course of the game's life, there were only a few meaningful updates in terms of new content. There was one singular additional map, balancing, and a few cosmetic add-ons, but nothing that fundamentally changed the experience. It's like what Siege is like now, where they bring back their Mute Protocol event back for the 60th time in a year and sell recolored skins.
Not the Siege slander again.
No expansions, no seasonal events, no progression system, no long roadmap for the community.
Now let's compare that to what its competitors were doing at the time. Team Fortress 2, for example, seemed to reinvent itself every few months with new weapons, new maps, and new community events. Call of Duty kept players engaged through their prestige systems, DLC map packs and yearly slop releases, EA expanded its games with entirely new Battlefield games in the franchise, such as 2011 when they came out with Battlefield Play for Free.
Absolutely amazing game, by the way.
While all of this happened, Gotham City Impostors was still stuck being the exact same game, and that's the unfortunate reality of multiplayer or live service games even till today.
Let me give it to you straight. If you don't got motion, you don't wrote this shit. Let me give it to you straight. If you don't got motion, you're not cool anymore. The players compared the game to how it stands against its competitors today and not how much it has improved over time. And as time passed, the players started drifting towards games that simply had more to offer.
With no constant updates, the game started to lag behind in the industry, and then it felt like the final nail in the coffin struck as the next gen of consoles, Xbox One and PlayStation 4, were introduced to the world. With no plans to have the game ported to the next gen consoles, the game felt like yesterday's multiplayer shooter.
At the same time, Monolith Productions had already shifted to other projects such as Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, and it was obvious where Warner Brothers' priorities lay as they grabbed onto the next big franchise to present that juicy graph to the CEO, where Gotham City Imposter was hung upside down and was getting waterboarded in the back room. What the frick are you writing?
The resources shifted drastically. The support for the game slowed, and then in
July 2024,
the game was delisted from Xbox 360,
2012 for Windows Live, and 2014 for PlayStation 3.
PS3 and Windows Live, which seemed to be the end of the Batman game that could have been something special.
The industry simply moved on. Even after the console servers shut down, the PC version managed to hang on a little while longer, but every month, the player count started to dwindle slowly, lower and lower and lower. Finding lobbies became harder, and eventually it was just the same few people playing every time you logged on. And just like every multiplayer game, there was also hackers. With few devs left supporting the game, cheating became more rampant and hence making it even more difficult to find playable matches.
What really makes the end of this game so strange is that it never really got one. There were no dev opinions on what happened and not even a farewell. It was just abruptly delisted on Steam on
August 26, 2021.
Warner Bros. Buried the game so deep, it probably ended up in the CIA classified folder somewhere. They did not want anyone to remember this game existed. But with how few good multiplayer games we had back in the day, the core player base, apart from the hackers of course, remained strong and managed to stick around, sharing the love they have had for this game over the years.
Today, you can still play this game through the Discord server I put in the description. The small community is still active, and for the ending of this video, I asked the Discord server to put how they feel about Gotham City Impostors so I could make it into a community wall. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Let us know what you remember about playing this game and what other games you loved playing as a kid that have closed down. Peace out.
Subscribe.
The headset is killing my head.